don't get surprised. I don't run my mouth like I used to. I know when to try, and I know when I should walk out the door. Yeah, worry some, but when the day is done, I plan my next move. I let the engine run, and no one comes inside like they used to. This is more.
Fucking work already. Fuck, sick. Fuck.
This is more. A crowded room.
Son of a biscuit. Piss me off.
Gets confusing.
Okay, well, we're on the air. Even if the goddamn lights not working, we're on the air.
I'm not just walking by. I'm not just saying hi. This is more. This is more. Crowded room. Gets confusing.
Great for you. For us, first of all. You know well who we are. Whatever may be the opinion, you know our mission. We are the bearers of a message for all mankind. And of the dead, death. And of the dead, for all mankind. And of the dead, for all mankind. And this we are, not only in our own personal name, and in the name of the sentiments which we express here, particularly of those who so kindly entrusted us explicitly with the task of being their spokesman here. Like a messenger who after a long journey finally succeeds in delivering the letter which has been handed in, so are we conscious of living through a privileged moment of a grief which fulfills a desire nourished in our heart for nearly 20 centuries. we are making a room, the voice of the dead and of the living. Of the dead who fell in the terrible wars of the past, dreaming of conquerors and world peace. Of the living who survived, bearing in their hearts a condemnation of those who would try to remove it. And of the living who move forward confidently, the youth of the present generation, who legitimately expect a better human race.
Okay, let's see here. What the fuck am I doing again? Okay, I gotta turn down the music. Turn down the music. All right, here we go. Here we go. Hey now, Carl the Madman here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Holy shit, Eric's here with me already. It's not even top of the hour yet, and you're here already. You know, you got shifty shell service, do you say? Oh yeah. Well, that's okay. Yeah. We do have a little bit of choppiness going on, but it is what it is. Oh, there you are. Whoa, there you are. Holy crap. Whoa, there he is. First, before the show starts, I got to give a shout out to my sponsor, bestcoastdistillers.com. Go check them out. They're on Instagram, Facebook, all that jazz. And check out their fine whiskeys made right here in British Columbia, Canada. And if you order some of their product and you use the secret code MADMAN in the checkout, you'll save 10% on your order. There you go. Bottoms up. Skull. Thanks for joining the show, Eric. Oh, whew. Nothing like a big old shot of cinnamon whiskey to kick it off. Take my glasses off so I can see. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Man, it's great to see you. Can you hear me okay? Cool. Your puppy? Nice. Oh, there we go. I got mine here somewhere too. My ding-a-ling. Come here, ding-a-ling. Eric wants to see you. Well, maybe he doesn't, but he's gonna see you. There you go. There you go. Here. That was Foxy, yeah. Foxy, yeah. No, she moved on. She went to Doggy Valhalla. Oh yeah. 10 years, yeah. Let's see. Foxy was, how old was Foxy? 13 or something like that. So, man, for everybody out there that doesn't know you, where are you from? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Upstate New York. Oh yeah.
Up in the mountains, more.
How long does it take? How long would it take you to say drive to the Big Apple?
To meet Martin Brodeur from New Jersey Devils hockey back in the day. He played, retired.
Yeah, he was my favorite goalie for a very long time.
Yeah, me too. So I made him. I painted a little helmet like to match his helmet when he was playing, and he, to me, he's the greatest. A lot of people, they call him the GOAT, greatest of all time. So I went to Tractor Supply and I bought a little goat figurine. And then I painted basically his colors on his helmet and put it on the goat head.
Nice.
And I just want to give it to him and just see his reaction. Be like, yo, dude, you're the GOAT.
Does he live near you, or do you know him pretty well, or what's the scoop there?
No. He I guess he's selling vodka, his own vodka brand.
Oh yeah.
And he's from Canada.
Yeah.
But he lives in New Jersey, so he lives like 3 hours away. He works at the arena and stuff, and he just came out with this vodka, so he's doing like a signing. So you go there, you get a photo, an autograph, and a bottle of vodka from him.
Oh yeah.
So I can't not do that. So I decided, Friday I'll do that. And then, I enjoyed watching him through the 90s and 2000s and stuff on TV. So I figured most people are just going to go there for the vodka and the signing and the picture, whatever. I had to just be like, thank you. And that's my thank you to him for entertaining me throughout all those years. Just give him a little Martin Brodeur goat.
That's excellent. I love it.
Make him laugh, Yeah.
When I still followed hockey, I was a Devils fan forever. Yeah, Martin Brodeur and Scott Stevens were like my two favorite players of all teams, all time.
Claude Lemieux, all them boys. Yeah, that was the dream team right there for me. Fun watching them.
It had nothing to do with it, but the last season that Scott Stevens played was the last season that I really paid attention to hockey.
Kind of the same, yeah. I think it was when Brodeur retired. I was kind of like, I just knew that too much for me. But upstate New York and Forge, do blacksmithing, and that's why I started off. Got thrown on ForgedInFire. I got like a little card here. So yeah, ForgedInFire.
Nice.
And then that barcode goes to my website.
Nice.
I just started doing this sculpture work now. So I'm an artist. I do tattoos. So I'm like a tattoo artist too. So I've always, since like a little kid, just been into art, painting, drawing, just creating stuff, and all throughout my life, I just find different mediums to do that. And I got drawn into the knives and the swords and stuff. So, playing with fire, that was always fun, and getting metal hot and hammering stuff. And I was like, all right, this is cool. Then I started making knives because of ForgedInFire. But I like the more traditional blacksmithing stuff, like just doing more arty stuff. So I do like make little metal keychains, skull keychains and stuff.
Nice, yeah.
Artsy stuff. But then I started scrolling through on my phone on Instagram, and I saw there ain't too many. There's probably like about a dozen that I've noticed, and maybe like 3 or 4 that really inspire me. But the top one that really got my foot in the door was this guy from Australia, Jordan Sprigg from Australia. He's a sculpture artist, and basically he lived on a farm in Australia, and he would just grab a bunch of junk on the farm, random pieces of metal, different shapes and sizes and colors and everything, cut them and weld them together to create animals. And they look absolutely amazing. And I was like, that's really cool, but like, I don't think I could do that. So I started, making a rose, and then I did a horse, and I did a little baby owl and stuff. And I was like, just trying to get used to how to do it. But after a couple of them, I was like, this is actually fun. It's almost like a crossword puzzle. I enjoy doing it. So now I've got about like 10 or 12 different sculptures and stuff, and still do the blacksmithing, still do the forging, still do tattoos. I do enjoy all of it. I kind of like need a little break from each thing for a little bit. I think that's why I like 3 or 4 different things, because if I was just to do one thing all day, every day, kind of gets kind of boring, and then it's not fun. So switching it up a little bit between 3 or 4 different things keeps it fun. But I just started getting to the sculpture thing, and I actually think I enjoy that the most, because it's the things I can make are really small, but some things are like huge, bigger than me, like 13, 14 feet tall.
I know.
And when people look at how intricate it is and how big it is, just that wow factor, the reaction from people, that's kind of like, I enjoy that. It's kind of like that moves me. That drives me to say, let's do some more. Let's do bigger. Let's push the envelope even more. Let's make a more complicated thing. Let's make a bigger thing. So
like breathing fire,
like a horse breathing fire. I did that. That's out my lawn, and I have a couple projects coming up. This spring. So yeah. So like the biggest thing I got going is I'm doing a dragon for a dude that lives in Catskill. He's actually on YouTube, and I think he's like someone told me he's like one of the top 10 in America, top 10 viewed YouTube channels.
Wow.
And he's like 30 minutes down the road from me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, AndrewCamarata.
Oh yeah.
He's like a construction kind of dude. He's got the gold button from YouTube and all that.
Oh yeah.
So what he did was start off was he did like time lapse of like construction videos and stuff, and bulldozing and all that kind of stuff, and videotaped it, time lapse it with GoPros and drones and stuff. But then he got shipping containers and like welded them together and inverted one to make a tower, and he made a giant castle on top of a mountain in Catskill out of shipping containers, all by himself, which is ridiculous. He did all by like one man crew. You know what I mean? Wow. It would take like a whole work crew. The roof is like, he has like a metal roof. He welded all the panels. He would, get in a crane and like crane up the one giant, buckle it all up, and it's a lot of work, putting up there and lowering it down pretty much by himself and welding the whole thing by himself, and then, walking back down, putting it, and just did the whole damn thing.
Wow.
All by himself. Like all the mason work, the bricks and stuff he had on it, just it's insane. He's a workhorse.
What did you say his name was again?
AndrewCamarata.
AndrewCamarata. I'll be definitely checking that out.
Yeah.
And by the way, down in the description box, I've got links to your website, to your both the 2 Instagram accounts and your Facebook page. So anybody who's trying to find you, just go down in the description box there, and you can check out all of that stuff. I think I did it right.
Eric Radliff Sculptures.com for the sculpture stuff. And I just started that, and I got someone updating right now. I hate computers. I hate doing all that kind of stuff. So I have someone that's in Virginia right now that does the computer aspect of it. So I had a photographer come down last month, take some new pictures of my sculptures. They got to edit them on the. I don't do any of that. So she's editing them all, and then emails them to me, and then I got to email them to the person in Virginia, and then they upload. It's a lot of work. I would be lost. I wouldn't even be able to do it. But that's why I have other people doing. I just basically barter and trade with them, and
nice.
Yeah. So it's a slow process, but at least it's I have a website and stuff for people to check out the stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, the links are all down below. I want to jump back in time a little bit here to your ForgedInFire days there.
Yeah.
You were pretty fresh at blacksmithing in those days, weren't you?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't that like your first time playing with Damascus and whatnot? If I remember right.
Yes, absolutely right. So
yeah,
basically maybe Chandler Dickinson on YouTube. He kind of
I
don't know.
Yeah,
kind of got me going. And actually, what's funny is the actual show itself. It was so new. I went on like season 6, and I think I watched up until season 3. Kind of like season 1, 2, and 3 inspired me. It was new. It was new to everybody. It was like season 1, 2, and 3. Like it happened. It went quick. It went by quick, and it got really addicting. It was kind of something fresh, something new, and I was like, holy crap, this is actually. I was already kind of looking at channels on YouTube like Chandler's, and then when ForgedInFire hit, it was like it almost kind of like fueled the fire for a lot of people and myself. And I was like, yeah, let's get into this. But I knew nothing about it. It's all YouTube and just visual. You know what I mean? I knew nothing, a lot of questions. Luckily, there was a guy in Vermont close to me. I never met him before, but I somehow found him, Jesse Savage. And he's a straight, just traditional blacksmith. He doesn't even make knives. He doesn't like doing. He does axes, bottle openers, fire pokers, like decorative or like ornamental type stuff. He's really big into archery, but he's a really old school blacksmith in Vermont, and he was nice. He's a really nice guy, and I had a lot of questions because I'd never done this before. So I didn't know. I was like, where do you get tongs from? How do you make them? And he's like, I'll make you a pair, and he sent me 2 pairs of tongs. And like just tons of stupid questions on coal fires and propane fires. And it was nice to have somebody in the very beginning, when you know nothing, that you could message and ask them anything that was on your mind, and they would just respond back and give you a simple answer to it. So I was like, that he kind of helped me, that and YouTube, just watching stuff on YouTube kind of got me really into it. And then that when I got on the show finally, I was posting pictures of it, and I would just do straight steel. And, I didn't know anything. So I was more like into the Jesse Savage thing, just doing traditional stuff, like knives. I was making a couple of them, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know anything about heat treat, none of that. So the show came on. By that time, it was season 6 into it. That show got gradually harder. Like when I watched it, it was like all simple, one piece of steel, railroad spikes and stuff. And then so I thought like, this is how it's going to be, for the whole journey is going to be like this. No, they progressively got harder and harder and harder, more challenging, which I get because it's TV. It has to be. If it was easy, it'd be boring. If it was a challenge and difficult, and they throw kind of like things that throw you off a little bit, that's entertaining. So that's why they do that. I totally get it's entertainment first. But I've never done Damascus, and I think the hardest kind of Damascus is canister Damascus, where you get like a steel tube, and one of the judges was like, kind of, I wouldn't say he invented it, but he was like, he loved it basically. He was like one of the pioneers, so he kind of really pushed it onto the show. And you get like powder, and you put the white out, and you put powder, and you put like all different kinds of weird pieces of metal in it, pack it in there, weld it shut, get it extremely. Cool idea, do some cool stuff. I just never was. It wasn't my cup of tea. You know what I mean? Especially now that like I do knives. I'll do Damascus every once in a while. I got like a couple Damascus knives I have over here on the counter and stuff.
Nice,
so
yeah. I remember that knife.
Damascus. This is like one I just finished. I didn't do the leather sheath, but this is like my own personal knife. And this is actually a collaboration with Walter Baranowski, who's like he just got his the knife makers thing, journeyman, like he's like a master bladesmith basically.
Oh yeah.
And he's in Buffalo, New York, so he's only like same state, just kind of like 5 hours away. And I met him through other people that were on the show. That's the cool thing about the show. Win or lose, it was networking and meeting all these different people from all over the country. Mm-hmm. And the ones that are easier to meet and talk to are the ones right here in your backyard. So I think there was like 3 of them that were right in New York, like 5 or 6 that were in Massachusetts, or just they're all over the place. And I did I have like a t-shirt up here hanging up somewhere, but Wounded Warrior Project for veterans. One of the guys was really into that in Ohio and in Massachusetts. So I was friends with him, and they do a big fundraiser in Ohio, and I did that a couple times. So that's how I got to meet the guy from Buffalo, Walter. And I actually had to share a hotel room and stuff when we went over to Massachusetts and stuff. You meet people, you get, make friends and stuff. So I love the way he made knives. So I started a knife basically. Is this one? I made the billet. I forged the knife. I got the materials and the handle, and then he's in the same state, so I mailed it out to him. And then he treated it and put the final shape on it for me. Mm-hmm. And then mailed it back to me, and I epoxied all the handle on it and everything.
It's beautiful.
And then I shaped the handle. So he has his touch mark on one side, I have my touch mark on the other side.
Oh, nice.
Yep, right there's mine, and really small WB on the inside of that one. And I don't do the epoxy handles, which I want to get into, or the leather sheaths. You got to get like a whole bunch of tools and setup for that. But again, another local guy, and we barter. So I make him a couple knives. He makes me a couple leather sheaths that I need. So he did the really badass leather sheath for me.
That is a nice sheath too, yeah.
With that, the black crosses on the front right there are actually my the medieval days, like the family crest on the shields.
Oh yeah.
That's what that is on the front of it for me.
Nice. Yeah, that's badass. That's beautiful. Wow. I think that's how I actually ended up meeting you, was through blacksmithing and YouTube.
Yep. You were doing that yourself too. I remember down in the little the shed in the garage and stuff.
Yeah, I was pretending to, trying to, yeah.
That's all I was doing. That's I have photos of me, right now, to this day, I have a 25-pound Little Giant power hammer, a 16-ton Coal Ironworks forging press, coal forge, propane forge, anvils, basically anything I need to
Yeah.
It's cool to have the right tools for the work and stuff.
No doubt.
But when I met you first time on YouTube and stuff, and I was just getting going, had nothing. Had like literally a Harbor Freight, that cast iron blue anvil.
I remember that actually, yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
Zero rebound, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're garbage,
and railroad spikes. And railroad spikes, and just like a normal fucking ball peen hammer or something like that from Lowe's or whatever. And the worst part was the forge. So I didn't really have a propane forge, so I was kind of building my own coal forge, and we ended up using like charcoal briquettes from like Home Depot, and a hair dryer, and it would get the metal hot, but it was horrible. And I look back at that, but it was something that it really got your feet wet, got you into it a little bit. I was just sitting there just hammering it, heating up metal to do it, but I mean it was fun then. I think that's what happens. A lot of people get into it, it's fun, and then once they progress, it gets harder to the work gets harder, and finding the right tools and material gets harder. Mm-hmm. And you either keep going or you quit.
Yeah, I wish I still had my stuff, man. I ended up selling my whole shop.
I've come close. I hear you.
I sold
doing that myself a couple times.
I sold it because we were opening a restaurant in 2019. and I needed some extra cash. So, the 10 years of collecting, I sold literally in 10 minutes. And and then the COVID came along, and we only had the restaurant for 1 year. But anyways, yeah, I miss it. I've got a tiny little anvil now, a homemade one, but I haven't been doing anything for a long time now. I don't have my forge. I don't have anything. When I first started, I was using a tiger torch.
Okay.
Yeah. big old propane tiger torch.
That's funny. It's better than the hairdryer. The hairdryer briquette forge that I had. That was horrible.
I think I remember that. That was back in the early days.
It was a hairdryer with a PVC pipe into a bucket with just charcoal. Terrible. Yeah. Did it work? Did it get metal hot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely did the work. Whatever. So now I got a double burner, legit propane forge or whatever. But there's some really nice ones out there that when close to where I am in Catskill.
Yeah.
Blackthorn and Catskill, they have a maker's camp every October.
Okay.
And Jimmy DeRista, he's another big dude out there that makes stuff and stuff. He's local to the area. And that place draws blacksmiths from all over the country. They actually had Jay Nielsen, the judge. He was there this past October. Jay Nielsen from ForgedInFire was there. Jesse Savage from Vermont, that guy, he shows up there. Jimmy DeRista, one of the big blacksmithing tool collectors in Texas. He was there a couple of years ago. So it's like basically an open forging makers camp. They do everything. They do woodworking, like epoxy, and they have like a big circus tent with like coal ironwork shows up there with the hydraulic presses. They got like 10 different coal forges going at the same time where they teach classes and stuff like that. So I don't really need to go there and take a class, but I'm 30 minutes away. So I just drive there and hang out and just check things out because it's all people making things that are relative to it's the joy of the art basically. So I just like going there and hanging out with them people.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's pretty cool. And it's like 30 minutes away or whatever. It's a big thing.
Oh, no shit. I would love to have the opportunity to go something like that.
Yeah.
You're living in the middle of fucking boot nowhere like I do, though. There's nothing. Forget about it. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah, where you live is awesome in the summer. I don't know how you do it in winter, man. Like, I don't know how you do it. Like, the summertime, I could see it being awesome, but like cold. It's cold.
Yeah,
here.
well, as far as Canada goes, I'm actually in a pretty warm spot.
Yeah.
But it's really wet and really heavy, and sometimes there's really lots of it, and sometimes it really sucks. And other years there's hardly any. There's lots on top of the mountains, but not too much down here. So you just never know what the fuck's coming around here.
It kind of sounds like New York a little bit. It's wacky here. We get like, especially in the spring, it's like you get winter and then spring and then summer and then back to winter. Just every week it'll change. The weather erratic as hell. Uh-huh. We have the two big Great Lakes, Erie and Ontario, and the lake effect snow ain't no joke. When the wind always comes across from west to east that way. I don't live like right there, but like Buffalo and Dunkirk and like Utica and stuff, they have like 4 feet of snow. It's insane.
Yeah, we can have that too. So do you get like wet, heavy, humid snow then?
I could never live there. Never do it.
Is it like wet, heavy snow you get?
Yeah, it's
humid.
We have it's my childhood. I remember having like 2 or 3 feet of snow. It's less now, but like for the winter, it's like 20 degrees. Sometimes it drops down to single digits, but relatively like 20, 30 degrees, which sucks. It freezes all my water buckets and stuff. Uh-huh. And just dark and cold and wet, like you said, just not the funnest of times. But
nasty.
That's where I hunker down in the shop. The wood fire stove and turn on the propane forge and just hammer it out. Hammer it through the winter, make some cool stuff.
Nice, yeah. What do you
sculptures and stuff now?
What do you prefer, coal or propane?
I actually prefer coal.
Yeah.
But it really depends what I'm doing. So if I'm having fun, I like coal. But if I have to get some shit done, I don't know if you can swear on YouTube or whatever, but
you can swear all you want,
sure.
After the first 30 seconds, you can swear all you want. If you swear in the first 30 seconds, they're gonna fucking shadow ban you.
I don't know I don't do this. So I don't know the rules, but
that's a fact.
Propane's the way to go. Propane's the way to go because you just you fire it up and you throw the metal in there and you can get stuff done. If you want to I mass produce a bottle opener, so I have I was doing like a like a raffle giveaway. So I have I can't even hold them all, 3, 4. I just mass produced these bottle openers of skulls keychains.
Yeah, those are killer.
They keep going. I can keep going. I keep doing it. So when you're doing stuff like this, where you're making a bunch of them all in one whack all at the same time, the propane's the way to go. So I can just throw all that in the fire, and I made so many in one. Look at this shit.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Huh.
So yeah, propane's easier, but I like coal because it's just everything about it. Just like the smell of it for whatever reason is nice. It gets metal way hotter. You can forge weld in the coal fire, but it's a pain. It's a pain too. I think that's what I like about it. Is it's not easy. You don't just turn the gas on and hit a flame and that's all you have to do. Coal forge, you have to talk to it. You have to tender. You have to tender to it. You know what I mean? The whole time you're forging, the whole time, and that pile of skull keychains, you can throw all that metal in the propane and leave it there. Work and pace your time. You can't do that in the coal fire. It's one at a time. One thing at a time. You can't throw 4 or 5 pieces in there. It'll ruin the fire, but 2, it'll actually melt the metal too if it's going hot. So it really hones in, So it's one thing at a time, It's good here.
I never got to play with coal, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's definitely fun. It's cool.
I could never get my propane forge hot enough to forge weld or anything. It just wouldn't happen.
The one I have now is a chili forge, and that actually with the 2 burners, if I close off the back and even the front a little bit, have a little bit of flame peek out, and crank the PSI on it, I can get it to forge welding. That's how I do some of my Damascus knives.
Oh yeah.
But it ain't easy. It'll eat propane like crazy, and it's not the easiest thing. And honestly, if it's cold outside, I have my forge, my propane forge outside. I don't want to have it would heat my forge up using it in the shed, but I don't want to risk it's coated with the refractory and it has brick in it and everything. But the coal, the fiberglass stuff blowing around and stuff like that in your shop, breathing that stuff in. I'm getting older now. I'm trying to take care of myself. I might, try to wear my safety glasses more often and wear leather gloves. But the biggest thing for me is my lungs. Breathing in. That's kind of why I don't like doing knives too much. Is it's not really the forging on the propane or the coal. It's the grinding.
The grinding, yeah.
The grinding of the knives. All that metal. You don't really see it, but it's wear a respirator. The grinding dust, the metal dust. Black boogers when you're blowing your nose and stuff. I'm not really a big fan of that. So, and then I can't really say welding because then the other thing I like doing more is the sculptures, welding all the MIG welding of the sculptures and stuff. I try to use as much rusty steel as possible. But when you start getting into chrome stuff, plated stuff, galvanized, I've welded cast iron and just doo-doo metal, stuff that's painted. You don't even mystery metal. You don't even know what that is because it really comes out of the junk and I'm cutting it with an angle grinder to whatever shape I want. Sometimes I got to forge things to shape, but I'm just cutting up all this random pieces of junk, mystery stuff. You don't know what it is. Cast iron, which is not the weld good. I'll find ways to weld stuff though. You got to be creative. I had old telephone, the old rotary telephone where you hit the button. Ring.
Yeah, I remember those.
That's plastic. How do you get a plastic phone into a sculpture? Well, I just make a pocket for it, put it in there, and then weld, MIG weld things around it to kind of hold it into it and close it into it. And then you have a phone inside this metal sculpture. So I'll find ways to put in unweldable things into a sculpture, but sometimes you heat up those unweldable things or not fun metal stuff, and the fumes of that thing is very bad to breathe in. So wintertime, I kind of do more of the blacksmithing stuff and the tattooing work. And then spring and summer, I like welding outside, just right out in the open, fresh air. And the wind goes by and stuff. I can worry about, breathing in all the crap, basically. So that's my way of take a time out for the wintertime for the big stuff because I have all the space I need too. My shop ceilings are only limited. So it's win-win because I have all the room I need, all the ventilation I need, and then it changes it up. So I'm not doing the same thing all year round. So summertime, I kind of stay to doing all the big sculptures. And then wintertime, I kind of do more the art stuff and the more blacksmithing stuff. And I'm starting to teach classes too. Someone who's when I first started with that bucket in the Harbor Freight anvil, someone who's never even gotten that far, they just want to try it. come on down to my shop and I'll show you, teach you the ropes or whatever. And for someone who's never picked up a hammer and put a piece of metal into a hot forge, I've been doing it for, I think, like 6-7 years, Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's like, second nature to me at this point. But for someone who's never done it and they want to give it a try, the light up on their face, like when they like, oh man, or they're, I can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you can. I'm here to help you, And it just they're like, this is really fun. This is amazing. I like that. You know what I mean? I like, showing like the guy from Vermont that kind of like I had questions. I know what I was doing. He kind of like helped me through it. I like, hey, if you want to learn how to forge, come on over and I'll show you how to do that. And it's not as hard as you think it is. It's not as dangerous. I think it's more intimidating. It's intimidating. It's fire and it's metal. Is there danger elements to it? Absolutely. But I was afraid of every power tool that I had, like the power hammer, the hydraulic press. These people have never forged their life. And I'm like, get on that thing. Push that pedal down. Get on that machine. Pop, 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 pop. They're like, it's terrifying. I was terrified my first time ever looking at the thing. And I was like, this is crazy to me. But after 7 years of it, it's like, I can, do it blindfolded and do it. But it's once the look on their face, they're kind of like intimidated by it. But once I say it's okay, you can do it. I'm here for you. I'll help you get it. They're like 30 seconds into it. They're kind of nervous. Once that nervousness gets out of their system, they're just like, dude, this is amazing. This is the funnest thing ever. They're sitting there with the hot metal, pop, 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 and the power hammer, hitting the hydraulic press. And that's.
I never got to play with either of those either, a hammer or a press.
I mean, the show kind of threw me at that. So after I did that, I was like, I need to get that. I don't know how I'm going to get it, but I need to acquire those tools.
Didn't you make one out of a log splitter?
No, I just when the show happened, I did not win, so they ended up sending me home. But I was on that show. Like that show is still going on, and people are still going on it. I think one of the guys that was on it with me, not with me, one of the guys that I'm friends with around here, who was on that show locally, got unlucky. I mean, two of them. Well, one won, guy in Troy, but the other one didn't end up winning. But I think he went on during COVID, which is the worst time ever. So I don't think he even got to meet anybody. They do lock you in a room.
Oh yeah.
So you can't like cheat or anything. So you don't see what else is going on or whatever. But COVID, I was with the people that I was on with, and I could meet the host of the show and all the judges and stuff. But during COVID, with the masks and stuff, they were so like exiled,
Yeah.
So he just kind of went down, didn't really get to meet anybody, and then sent them home. But when I was on, it wasn't late in the seat, like late in the whole show. Like right now, it's like I don't know what season it's on, like 12 or 10 or I don't know. But and the beginning was really early. No one really knew what to do. I was like right in the middle, So the excitement level was kind of at its peak. So I didn't win, but on Facebook they had a group for anyone who was on that show to basically display when you come home, you're working and stuff, still making knives and stuff, to display the stuff that you're working on, post it up on Facebook, and if anyone's interested in it, they could purchase it. So I did that like for a couple of years. And since then it's sizzled down. It's like, the you know what I mean? What goes up comes down. So it's like kind of faded out a little bit, but at that high point, it was pretty cool. And tattooing too. So all the tattoo money, I would just, set aside a lot of it to help this craft, the metal craft. And got myself one of those fancy pants inverted hydraulic log presses. That's really all they are. I've seen so many people buy a log splitter and cut and weld things, mod it, and you can turn that into a forging press.
Yeah,
is
that what you have, or is that what you did, or no?
No, I got it from Cole Ironworks, the company in Indiana.
Okay.
They've been making hydraulic presses since the show started, basically.
Oh yeah.
And they're still doing it today, and they were a very innovative company. So, say I bought that 6 years ago, it's almost like the Iron Man suit. Like the press that I bought from them at that time was Mach 1. It was like the first generation of their presses, which I love. And it's very analog. It's very like wonky, like handle and foot pedal and stuff like that. And you just kind of like you manually work it, which I like. I can feel that. I can feel what I'm doing physically to do it. But to this day, they have double presses, like a 16 and 24 welded together, like two hydraulic presses at the same time. They have I don't even know what these crazy computers hooked up to them with like little buttons where you just press a button and it makes the the hydraulic press come down, you program it to come down the exact same pressure and the exact same hit every time. So it's exact every time.
Yeah.
And that's not anything that I would need, but if you're doing canister Damascus or any kind of Damascus and you want like perfect billets, that's a must. That's an absolute must. So they've, throughout the years, didn't just make a really badass forging press. They did, but then it wasn't enough. It was like, as the game changed, as people were getting better, they got better. They kind of like listened to the people forging. Hey, could you do, and I think they forged themselves. So they were just like, they didn't just settle for what they already built. They just kept improving, like Mach 2, 3, 4. So like even the press now they have, it's kind of interesting. Like it's amazing. So like I said, it's got like a program and stuff. It's got a whole computer thing on it and like that. And they customize anything you want with it. All the different dyes and stuff. You do like the dyes themselves have patterns in them. So they press the metal for ladder Damascus and all kinds of crazy stuff. So you can just makes the work job easier basically. But it's kind of interesting. They did that within like the past 5 years. What's the next 5 years going to be?
Yeah.
What are they going to do next?
That's super cool.
Innovative.
Super cool.
Here, pup.
Come here, pup. That's what my dog just did too.
I gotta watch him.
How old's your little monster?
Exactly 1 year.
Oh yeah.
I got him. He was born in December last year.
So
I didn't get him until like February. But he's this month's his birthday month.
So he's full of shit and vinegar.
Surprised! I have like a picket fence around my yard, and since I got him, he's been pretty good. And when I got him, he could never jump from the floor onto my bed. Those days are gone. Like probably on month 6 or 7, to jump from floor to the top of my, and I should have known. So now when I let him out inside, this little guy jumps over. He jumps.
Oh yeah.
I'm calling him. Hey, he's not coming. I'm like, where are you? Uh-oh. So I go out and look, and he's on the other side of the fence, like walking around. Boy, there's people that could take him or cars and stuff like that. So I was like, you made me nervous, buddy. But yeah, so I had to I'm still working up, but I've already like tried to fortify my fence a little bit more so he doesn't jump over it.
Yeah.
He's a stinker.
I hear you. Yeah, I've got mine. Mine can't escape. I want to ask you about your tattooing. How did that come about? Did you start out apprenticing at a shop, or did you just buy a gun and start tattooing baby pigs, or like what happened?
All of that. All the above. It's been a long 15 years, long journey of that. Okay. So, like the first year, I started a band playing like metal music and stuff, and I was the guitar player. We had all the parts. We had a drummer, bass player, singer, and usually once you get stuff written, adding a second guitar player is always a good idea to thicken up the sound and stuff. So we were already pretty good in set, but the bass player and the drummer had this friend that played guitar, and he's like, well, we played in the band with him previously. He's a good guitar player. He's a good guy. I think he'd help our band. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's have him show up for practice and stuff and hang out. When he did, I met him, and he was a tattoo artist. I wasn't tattooing at that time. He was a tattoo artist. He's probably like, at least 8 years older than me or whatever, 10 years older. But he was a tattoo artist at a tattoo shop. So I was like kind of thinking about it being one. I was like, but I just didn't know how to do it or whatever. So I bugged him for like 5 years. He wouldn't show me how to do it. I was like, can you show? He's like, no. So after 5 years, and main reason is like he didn't want me stepping on his toes. He didn't want me like pulling out his clientele or whatever. Even though we were like way different on age and stuff like that, but I could understand. You know what I mean? Now it's just like a free for all out there. The game has changed completely, which I like actually. The internet, the tattoo machines have changed a lot. They're wireless now. They have lithium batteries. They don't have a foot pedal or like a switch and stuff like that anymore. The cartridges, the machine itself has changed. It's like a rotary. It's insane how far the inks are way better. From day one, the first year that I started, it's a different world basically. Drawing was always light boxes and tracing paper. Now it's iPads. So I kind of like that. I'm kind of an old dog where I learned, and there was people before me laughing at me because they say I got disposable tubes, I got autoclaves, I got all this stuff. We had to mix our own powder to make our own inks and solder. They had to get a jig and solder their own needles and stuff. And I was like, that's crazy. But like, yeah, you guys got it easy. Now I'm saying that like you guys, you draw on your iPads and all, you got like wireless machines. That's what's going on, but it's a good thing. It's good for the industry. It helps it. You know what I mean? It's like it's improve that stuff. You know what I mean? Make the job easier. Make the the tattooing itself. Has gotten crazy good. And that's because the tools of the trade have gotten better too. And it's gotten more artists available to try it. To try see if they're good at it, see if they want to do it. But I bugged him for 5 years. We were in the recording studio, and he set up his tattoo stuff in the back. He was tattooing someone, and we were all having a couple beers and finishing the record that we were recording. It's been like a 5-year bout with this guy, bugging him, and he was always like, "No, I'm not doing it. Leave me alone." But I kind of threw him on the spot the day he was in there tattooing in the studio, and I was like, "Come on, show me. Are you gonna show me how to do this?" And he was just joking around. He's like, "No, dude, no." And then the drummer saved me. The drummer goes, "I'll let him tattoo me right now. You can tattoo my leg. I don't care what it is. Just draw up a skull or something like that." So I drew up a little skull, and he set me up, and I did it, not knowing what the hell I was doing. Kind of showed me a little bit, but I think that at that moment it was kind of like it just kind of hit you, kind of like even with the forging stuff. It's like you just kind of know. I did it, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This is like fun. This is like just like you could feel it. This is my calling. I want to do this. So I didn't know how. He still wouldn't show me, but I kind of like he got me into it enough where I was like, yeah, I have to do this now. Now that I tried it, I really got to figure this out for myself. So he helped me a little bit, but not too much. I ended up finding a shop and doing an apprenticeship for them for a couple of years, and then switched a couple of shops since then. I'm at my third or fourth shop since then, and I never really wanted to open up my own shop. I had opportunities to do it, but I like being the worker bee because I think it's because I do all this other stuff. I do the forging, the blacksmithing, the sculptures, and I don't want to take away that. I don't want to. You know what I mean? On either one, I kind of like the variety of that. So owning a thing is too. I like being the worker bee because it's less stress. It's less what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibility. You know what I mean? It's a lot on your shoulders. So I was just like, I can stop and do this and stop and go when I want. That's it. It just worked way better. It was better system basically for doing that. So fast forward onto that, like 15 years into it, I still do it to this day, and I love it. But it's nice to need a break from it because I get overwhelmed sometimes with it. You get tired if you do the same like 2 or 3 tattoos every day, or even a tattoo every day of the week for a year. You're just like, I want to go in the shop and make something out of metal. You know what I mean? So it's good to have. I like the back and forth that I have going with that, and I still play in a band. I'm actually switching gears on that too. I play guitar, and I'm trying to learn the drums right now too. I'm trying to always keep busy and just life short, so try to learn stuff. I try to keep busy and learn something new. You know what I mean?
And grow. Yeah, I mean, you're a true fucking artist. Yeah. You're a true fucking artist, and everything I've seen that you've made is absolutely beautiful.
It's all art. You know what I mean? Art's everything.
It's beautiful. Yeah, you do beautiful work, man.
People that cook food and are chefs, that's a form of art. People that cut hair, that's art. It's all find something you're passionate about, right? And fucking don't just do it, but dive into that shit. You know what I mean? Find something that really fucking gets you here. And do it.
I got an idea. If I ever come down your way and meet you, I'll let you cut my hair, and maybe you'll turn into a fucking hairstylist next.
Now, I used to have a mohawk.
I remember you had a mohawk on the show.
So I could do some pretty awesome hairdos for you. If you really want.
I forgot about that. I might have just bit off more than I can chew. I might come out of there with fucking who knows what. Yeesh.
So I'm trying to keep. Here's a top secret thing. I'm trying to keep this kind of a secret. Shh. But I'll throw it out here right now. Live for the first time, telling anyone right here. I'm trying to keep it because it's not guaranteed. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like an idea right now. But are the odds pretty good? Absolutely. But there's no guarantee. I got a backup contingency anyway. And even if it totally doesn't work out at all, still worth it. Still having fun. You know what I mean? But you got to try to do some different stuff. So there's a lot of really good tattoo artists out there. And just like ForgedInFire, Miami Ink was on TV. Ink Master, a friend that I tattooed with, she was on the show. Went to a couple tattoo conventions, a couple of artists that that I've met around the show and stuff. But a big name in tattooing is Kat Von D. A lot of people don't like her. A lot of people do like her. I've never had a problem. I think she's badass. So she's quit tattooing as far as I know. She doesn't really tattoo anymore. She had a kid. She used to be in California and LA, moved completely out of there. I think she sold like her makeup business, stuff like that, and she's doing music now because that's like that's a passion of hers to do music. It's not tattooing, you know what I mean? It's trying something different, which this is what I mean. This is why I like her, because I can relate to that. You do something for so long, you kind of need a break and a change from it. You got to switch that shit up a little bit. You know what I memean?
Mm-hmm.
So I see her doing it. She's having a kid. She want to get out of the city, really rural country, in the middle of like I think Indiana, and she's just raising the kid and doing music on tour, and she's happy, and that's all that really matters in life. Just do whatever the frick makes you happy, whatever. So I follow her on Instagram, and she just did for the first time this past spring, in April, or I don't know when, May or March, April-ish, whenever the tulips come out of the ground, they're like one of those flowers that when you plant the bulb in the ground, they just come up every year. As long as the deer and stuff don't eat them, you don't have to keep replanting them. They grow. They keep reproducing.
Perennial,
so she's very like gothic. She's like gothic and like very like dark, kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The horror kind of stuff or whatever, like that kind of vibe. So opt out and stuff. So her new house is a bunch of land, a bunch of fields. Last spring, she planted 10,000 black tulips in her yard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot. And I think this spring she's actually adding another 10,000. So she'll have like around 20,000 black tulips growing out of the ground around whatever spring, like March, April, So the whole field or yard is going to be all these black tulips. So I saw that last year and I was like, that's fucking pretty cool. That's like, that's different. And she's in the middle of nowhere in some small town, which is a lot closer. That's like mid-country, a little closer than California. Still kind of far though. And I just sold and made a giant 12-foot tall metal rose that I made out of metal.
I think I saw that, yeah.
So let me give you an idea. So like this is like a small realistic metal rose that I make. So I made these, right? And the bud is about the size of my fist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like in metal 3/16 rod. So instead of using this rod, I used a goddamn fence post. Like they use like a chain link fence, which is like that round.
Yeah.
And like, you can weld them together and make it like 13 feet tall instead of this. So it's like that much wider instead of like that wide, pencil wide. And then the bud, instead of it being the size of my fist, let's make it like, enormous, But the cool part is if it's 13 feet tall, you're here. You're looking up at like the bottom part of it. It's not that entertaining. The magic's right there in the bud.
Mm-hmm.
So I made it kind of S-shaped. I kind of bent the metal like this and had it come down like this. So it was like 12 feet above you, looking down, kind of like a dead rose. You look up at the cool part. I ended up selling it to a girl in New Hampshire. So I knew I could make these giant roses. So I was like, a rose is really complicated. A tulip isn't as complicated. And I don't need to bend it because the cool part of the tulip isn't here. It's just the shape of it on the profile. Tulips just go straight up, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I saw her 10,000 black tulips. I was like, you know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna weld up and build these two giant, they're like 14-foot tall black metal tulips. So I have two of them identical. So you can make like a banner, and like I'm thinking maybe she could use it as like a gateway to walk through. You walk up to the big giant tulips, kind of catch your attention from a distance. You walk up to, you see that first from a distance, and then you walk up to it and you walk kind of like through that, and then there's the field. That's my, of all these tulips, whatever. So I was like, I can't call up her and be like, hey, I got this really cool idea. I do these, I could make this for you. Would you be interested if I, brought them down there? So I found someone that kind of knows her, and they're in Texas, and they're on tour with bands and stuff. I don't really want to throw their names out there, but like they like chihuahuas. They had like rescue chihuahuas, little baby puppers.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm doing these big sculptures. I threw the offer. If you could get me a pass to one of the concerts that's coming local to me, which they did. They gave me a T-shirt, guitar picks, and a set list to the show, and tickets to the show. So that was a plus, But then the main thing was I have this letter printed out that I would like to send to you, to send to your friend, to give to Kat Von D, just to get a hold of her, to pitch the idea to her and see if she'd be interested in this coming spring. And I already have the tulips built. I already rush jobbed them, got them done by end of October, got them all painted. I got to repaint them, I think, but I and then figure out how I'm going to put them on my trailer if it's a green light. You know what I mean? But get this letter to her and pitch the idea and see if she likes it. So we're at that stage right now. We're just kind of like, I have to get the letter to her. I'm waiting to see. She might not be interested, you know? Yeah. And if she isn't, the city that I live in does a tulip fest every spring. So I could always try to find my local, I don't even know where to go there, like government, like politician or whoever, state people, whoever runs the town parks and stuff like that. And be like, hey, I got these really cool tulips, or just keep them in my own yard or whatever, you know, something, maybe a private person somewhere would want to, you know, take them and put them on their property up at camp or something like that. That's happened. But I really kind of did it for her, for Kat Von D. I kind of like that. That's the goal. That's the idea. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of time. It's just timing and all that stuff. So I'm hoping we'll see what happens by this coming spring if everything works out well, and I get a call from her or email or something like that, and we work something out. I might be driving from here to Indiana for her tulip thing in the spring with these massive, giant, two giant 15, 14 foot tall black tulips, you know, driving down the highway, you know what I mean? To her place to install them. And I think that's just cool, you know.
That's super cool.
So I have a moose. I did a giant moose sculpture, and some guy in Vermont wants to get that one, and I'm starting to get them out there. You know, I want them in different locations and stuff. And I that would just be cool if Kat was interested in the tulips. That's out this way. You know, I got one up north, somewhere here. You know, as an artist, like I'm not attached to my work. I want other people to enjoy it. I want other people to look at it. You know, so I want to move on to the next project, basically. So the tulip thing for her, it's kind of like we'll see what happens or whatever. But she's always been an inspiration with tattooing for me too. So that's kind of a plus. I've related to her a lot. And then the other project that I have, because they're done. They're done. I'm just waiting on her. We're waiting on the whole that thing. But the actual tulips they're done. But what's not done is the AndrewCamarata guy that I was talking about. I talked to him again. So he's doing it. He's got his own life going on. He's busy every day. He's a worky. He's so into work and stuff. But he ended up buying another property, another mountain in Catskill, and he's building a second castle number 2. Yeah. Hasn't even built it yet, but he's like breaking the ground, and yeah, it's a lot of work. He's actually like, this dude's he's literally logging the. I'm trying not to swear, but I know I can. But he's logging the trail up this huge mountain. I go forward with him up there, so like riding the floor, it's insane. He's on literally. The elevation's like 5,000, 6,000 feet. He's way up high. Probably not as the big as the mountains where you are, though. You know, like I've seen the British Columbia ones. They're insane. But so he's up in a pretty good mountain, cutting down all the trees and blasting dynamite, all these boulders and stuff. And then he bought a rock crusher. He crushes the rocks and bucket loads them up and lays the stone down so you can actually get up in the wintertime and without slipping in the mud and stuff, the rain, all the erosion or whatever. And he's just breaking ground up there, clearing it out to start construction on castle number 2. So I was just like, hey, I have all these sculptures. Would you be like, he helped me do the fire on the flaming horse sculpture.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, if you want one of these sculptures up at your property, it'd be kind of cool. You have company coming over, you know, trying to pitch him the idea to see if he'd be interested. And he's like, yeah, but I don't really like nothing you really have done right now is kind of hit me. But I'm building these castles. I think a dragon would be cool. I'm like, absolutely. A dragon would be. I've never. So he wants a dragon. It makes perfect sense because he has a castle, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like doing the same thing twice. So I was like, I've never, you know, I made a horse, a giant beaver, a minotaur, an angel, a squirrel, a robot. You know, I never made a couple flowers and stuff like that. I never made a giant dragon. So I was like, that's the thing about dragons. They're huge. If you're gonna do a dragon, I'm not gonna make it like the size of Dino on the Flintstones. I'm not gonna make it the size of like a cow or something like that. You know. If you're gonna do a dragon, something that could, if it was alive, it would eat you. You know what I mean? That's how big. That's how big the sculpture is gonna be. So that's challenge number 2. Not only have I not made a dragon before, I've made some pretty big sculptures. I made a full-size horse, a full-size moose, a minotaur that's 15 foot tall, that's bulky. That might be the biggest one. And the robot I did is pretty big. But the dragon takes the cake. Okay. And I'm like, how the hell, after I make this thing here on my property, how am I going to get it up a mountain to his house if he does want it? So you got to think, you got to get smart. So what I'm doing is I'm building it in my yard. I already started it. I have some of the body done, the tail situated, and part of the head finished. I have to put arms and wings and a lot of detail work, a lot of work still to go. But I'm trying to finish that by mid-spring or not midsummer, before fall this coming summer. Done. Get it up there by fall. That's my goal. I think I can do it. But the head is like just from the nose to like the back of the jaw is probably 5 feet by 4 feet. That's just
wow.
The eyeballs are chrome-plated ball bearings that are the size of baseballs.
Oh yeah,
they weigh like 6 pounds.
Yeah.
The teeth. Here, hold on a second. The teeth I got for the dragon are chrome-plated lug nuts from 18-wheelers. So those are going to be like the teeth.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to use some of these, and I'm going to forge my own and polish them. But I'm going to use a lot of them are going to be these or whatever. So just like the size, like the dragon teeth are like this. But the idea is to build it in 5 pieces. So the head slides on a pipe in a bar and comes off it. The body is a giant, I don't know what gallon percentage it is, but it's like a house oil.
Oh, heating oil.
Tank.
Yeah. Furnace oil
my friend
tank
switched
or whatever.
over to gas. Yeah. So my friend switched over to gas, so he gave me his old oil tank, and I cut the corners off it on an angle on the bottom, and then burned all the oil out and kind of cut slots in it and bent it around, and I'm welding off of that. I have old I-beams that I'm using for the legs and stuff. I got a car or truck tow hitch, and I use the tow hitch on the back of the oil drum with an I-beam for the tail, and the tail kind of has a hitch receiver, so it latches onto the back of the oil drum, so I can deattach and reattach the tail, because the tail is going to be about 20 to 25 feet long. Okay. Just the tail. So that comes off as one piece. Then the body, the core, the arms, the legs, and the oil drum. The dog scared the crap out of me. The oil drum is all one piece. That's the core, the trunk of it, basically, with the neck. And then the head is piece number 3. That comes off 3 pieces. So the head, the body, and the tail has 3 pieces. And then 4 or 5 are going to be the wings. Got to have wings, right?
The wings.
So each wing is going to be like basically fence post piping, because I want them big, but I want them hollow for weight. I don't want a lot of weight on it, and sheet metal. And they're probably going to be at least 15 feet wide on each wing.
On each wing, yeah.
So with the 4 feet here, you're looking at roughly 30 feet wide, roughly. So, and that with the tail, the neck, it's probably going to be 15 feet tall, because the neck curls up, and I want the head to go up. I'm hooking propane up to this, or a flamethrower. We'll see. Me and him might work out something with a remote control flamethrower, because I'd love to actually get a legit flamethrower that shoots flames like 10 feet out of the mouth. Like, yeah, why wouldn't we do that? You know what I mean? So 15-foot tall dragon height, shooting 10-foot fireball flames out of the mouth with a wingspan of 30 feet, and from head to tail, probably 40 feet, like 40, 30, 40 feet wide. That's a big sculpture.
That's a big sculpture, yeah.
In 5 pieces that come apart, so I can transport it piece at a time up the mountain. And then when I get up there, he's got a welder. I can weld it all together, situate it where I want to do, and put the final touches on it. But me and him are still battering back and forth. Basically, if you build it, they will come, right? So same thing with the cat thing, the tulips. You know what I mean? If you have an idea in your head, it's no good if you don't physically have it. But it starts with the idea. So I have the idea. Step number 2 is to manifest that idea into physical, something you can tangibly hold and touch, something that's real, something that you did. Otherwise, it's just an idea. So I come up with these crazy freaking ideas, right? And then I'm like, hey, this would be a cool idea. And if the person's like, yeah, do it. Sometimes I already jump the gun and build it anyway. But it's idea, then physically make it. And then if you build it, they will come. So here I am coming up with ideas, building them regardless. And then once they're built, I think it's just the wow factor, being like, wow, that's cool. All right, well, do you want it or not? And then they're like, well, yes or no. But usually it's green light, go. And that makes me happy. It makes them happy. It makes other people that look at it happy. And then it's on to the next idea, and then make it real, And that process I love. I mean, just like, I never thought I'd be doing this ever. You know what I mean? If someone told me I'd be doing this like when I was a kid or a teenager, 20 years, when I was in my 20s and stuff, I'd be like, what? Like, what? Like, it's just insane. You're going to be on ForgedInFire. You're going to make something for like giant sculptures and dragons and mooses and all this other stuff. Like, even forging and stuff, with playing with metal and making swords and stuff. I'd be like, get out of here, dude. You're like, no way. So
that's wicked. Do you usually sketch out your sculptures first, or?
I do. I usually don't, but
something
like
big?
I'm still learning the process. What you get better as the more you do something, the more better you get. I've noticed that myself too, because I remember the first 2 sculptures were horrible. Like, not horrible bad, just a horrible time. Like, I wanted to do it, but it wasn't fun at all. It was like struggle. Like, writer's block. It was like creative block.
Okay.
Like, I wanted to do this. I knew I could do it. I could see other people doing it. Like the guy in Australia. I was like, God damn, he's making these giant metal sculptures. I don't like making a horse. How come I can't do this? It's so I got stuck, and it was fear. It was fear of, well, if I put this here and this here and this here and weld to it, then I'm committed to it. And if it looks like shit, then it's ruined. You know what I mean? So I don't do it. So then I just got stuck. But you have to just do it anyway. If you don't do it, if you just keep looking at it, it's never going to get done. So my friend came over and he's just like, I had the frame laid out and like one leg. And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, it's supposed to be a horse. And he's like, well, do something with it. But it's like, I don't know where it's going to come out. The proportion is going to look like a goat instead of a horse or something horrible. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. There's no instruction manual. You can't print stuff off online, weld, point A to point B and figure 2 to point 3 or whatever. There's nothing. You just got it's all here. Artist eye, proportions and all that kind of stuff. You can't really. I don't think you can really teach it. I went to college for 2 years for graphic design. I did a lot of art classes, and they kind of teach you that kind of stuff, perspective and all that kind of weird stuff. Maybe that's somehow deeply embedded in my head somewhere secretly that I don't even know that's helping me do this stuff. Because sometimes when I finish something, I go, I'm like, I don't even know how the hell I did it. I don't even know how I did it. How did you do that? I'm like, I don't even know. It's kind of like the art takes over me, and I just I get so into it that everything turns off. Everything turns off. I don't even think, and I think that's what I like about it too. It turns my goddamn brain off. Okay, closes out the entire world, turns my brain off, and I'm just excited, and I'm just focusing on that art sculpture, and that does something for me. Inner peace, you know what I mean? So I kind of like that. But how do you do it? I don't even know. It's magic. Because some of these parts and pieces that I find that I weld into the creature there, whatever I'm making, are almost too goddamn perfect. Like the moose has a jaw, and it's a old kid's metal bicycle seat, but it's like the exact shape and size and perfection of a moose's jaw. And I just said, I looked at it in a pile on the ground and go, that's the jaw, and then boom, there it is.
You've got the eye.
Those metal inserts that those old people put in their shoes, those are the moose's ears. I see something that is something, and I see it as something else. And I don't even know how I do that. And the first 2 sculptures, like I said, were really hard to do that. But after like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, every one that I did, the process has gotten faster and less thinking, and just it's just kind of like just happens. It just kind of just easier. Got way easier.
That's pretty wicked. Do you have you ever done like much painting, or is that not your thing?
All through, I still at high school I did a lot of paintings, acrylic and stuff like that, oil painting. But kind of quit doing that and had to get a normal job for a little bit. Did delivery and warehouse forklifting and jobs, stuff like that, and didn't have time to really sit there and paint pictures. But when I was my younger years, I did enjoy doing that. Murals on walls and stuff I would do.
I was going to ask you about murals.
Yep. But now that everything, I've kind of like settled down older, not so much, but I have a bunch of acrylic paints, and I have some canvases, and every once in a while, if the mood strikes, if I want to paint something, I still do that. I still find, that's fun to do. Sometimes someone just wants me to paint something cool for their apartment or something like that. So I'll paint a cool canvas picture.
Or for their studio.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, man, time to wrap up this show. It's been fucking really great touching base with you. It's been too many years.
It has been. I haven't even talked to you or heard from you in a long time. So it's nice
we did the audio podcast there many years ago. No video.
Yeah, this seems a lot cooler. I'm surprised I could even get on this thing because I hate computers. I can't do. Man.
Well, YouTube made this fairly easy. You can set up this 2-person thing. They did a pretty good job on it. I'm pretty happy. I'm having a lot of fun.
But that AndrewCamarata guy, he's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Check his channel out.
I will.
If you go on, it's older video, but look up the way you spell chandelier is crazy. So CHANDLIER, chandelier. He has a video called Chandelier. I'm in that video with him, and it has the forging process of me in my shop building the chandelier, which weighed 250 pounds. Okay,
mm-hmm.
And then me building it in my shop, and then transporting up to his castle in the Catskills, and then him getting a crane and loading it up into the thing, and me and him hoisting it up and welding it to an I-beam up in his kitchen or whatever.
Oh, nice.
And he has a whole video on there. It's got like, he's got like the gold button, millions of subscribers and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, cool to do that. But his whole channel's worth checking out anyway. But I'm actually on at least 2 of his channels. I think the Fire Breathing Horse is way back in his catalog, but the Chandelier's in there too. If you type Chandelier Andrew that video will pop up on me on there. So
I will find them and I will put them in the description box as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Nice, man. Do you want to give a shout out to anybody? Do you want to tell anybody anything you got coming up? I don't know. This is your time.
Yeah, I get it. Probably just it's still not. And then on Instagram, Jesse Savage Forge in Vermont, because he's the traditional blacksmith guy in Vermont that he got me started on stuff. He's really helped me out a lot. And AndrewCamarata, who's just got a really entertaining channel. It's just like a lot of construction stuff and building stuff, but he's always doing something crazy. Every goes out and jet skis, 4-wheel, and all that kind of crazy stuff. He's always working and building something cool. He's gonna be doing that castle soon, so I only suggest him because I'll probably be in there again with it. I'm trying to get my channel a little bit, but I would love to do, like I said, I get really into time out and video the sculpture work as I'm welding it, and then go back to the camera and back and forth. I can't do it. I need someone to film it and edit it for me. It ruins the vibe that when I'm building stuff or whatever. But if I could figure that out, if I could figure out how to film the whole process from a pile of crap junk to an awesome finished sculpture and post that on YouTube every month, I think that would be awesome. That would really, I think a lot of people would enjoy that.
They definitely would.
It's an idea. It's like I don't know how to quite do that just yet. But I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to I'm figuring it out still. You know what I mean?
Well, there's some pretty amazing as far as because I love editing, that kind of stuff. I'm into this video shit. There's some pretty good some pretty good apps and shit out there nowadays. You can do some pretty amazing stuff with. But
I was using Luma Fusion for a little bit.
Oh yeah,
there's so many. Yeah, there's so many different apps and stuff like that.
There is. Yeah.
The easier the better, because I'm not tech or computer savvy. I hate it. It drives me nuts. So I'm surprised I switched over to an iPad to do tattooing, to draw the tattoos on there instead of paper and pencil.
Oh yeah.
So I'm slowly trying to, it's the age of computers and internet and stuff with technology right now. It's on drones and all this kind of stuff. Everything's getting crazy. AI. Oh my God, like AI. Like
fucking AI.
AI should do your laundry and dishes, not art. So that way you have more time to do art.
AI should go to work for me so I can sit here and focus on my show more. And
absolutely.
All right, Eric, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know it's a lot later down on the East Coast than it is here for me, so it's been a lot of fun. I want to do this with you again someday.
Absolutely.
And if you ever got something coming up that you want to push, let me know.
Yeah.
And
we'll do a little guest spot on there for sure. Yeah.
Fucking A. Thanks a lot, man. And I think how you get out is you got to hit the little X-y button on your screen there. But
what are we hitting?
I think there's a little X on your screen there somewhere.
All right.
A little X thing.
If I hit it, got it.
If you hit it, you're gonna disappear. Yeah.
All right. Well, over and out, my man. I'll keep in touch with you though.
I'll be following you. I've been following you for years.
Yeah, man. All right. Be good.
Take care. Oh! Did he get it? Oh! Did he get it? Oh! No, did he get it? I don't know if he got it or not. Anyways, that's Eric Radliff. Go check him out. Like I said, all the links are down below in the description box there. And, give him a like, give him a follow. Tell him how cool his shit is, because his shit is fucking really cool. There's no doubt about that. Also, go check out bestcoastdistillers.com. Order yourself some fine Canadian whiskey and use the secret code MADMAN, one word, at the cash out, and you'll save 10% on your order. That's it, folks. Calling it a show. Maybe. Don't close. There we go. Oh, now it's not connected. Shit. There we go. How come it says that's connected to my... All right. Thanks for watching. Fucking thing. Fuck's sakes.